I recently released a track and I managed to achieve -2 to -3 LUFS on the master. In this video I'm going to show you just how I got that and how I achieved a really loud mix and master. So the first thing you need is a good setup. I've got this project template here that you can download for free, link down below to download it, and it gives you this setup where you've got everything color coordinated and you've got a drum bus, a bass bus, a vocal bus, an instrument bus, an effects bus. All this then runs into the master channel and then it goes to your ears. And if we control the volume of each section in its designated area, so for example, each individual drum to their relevant groups and then to the drum bus and then to the master channel, we can then control the volume in such a way to achieve a really loud mix and master. And so the first thing you want to apply to your track is on the master channel here. And I'm going to put a clipper on it. So you'll see here, I've got a G clip, and it's on 0.3 dB, just a tiny boost to give it that optimal loudness. I've then also got a limiter on it, but you'll see this is turned off. We'll come back to this at the end of the video. And I've also got a U-lean loudness meter, which is free to download, so is G-Clip. And if we take a look at this, we'll be tracking this level here throughout the video. And when we get this to -3 or above, that's when we've achieved the loudness we want to get maximum loudness. Let's start with the drums first. So before I show you anything else, let me show you the drum bus first. So I've got a G clip on this drum bus and it's at the gain of 2.8. Now this will be different depending on your track, but this is me pushing it to the absolute limit without it distorting to get the loudest drums possible. You'll then also notice on the right here, I've got PC and PD. So PC is parallel compression and I've got it on these settings here, just a fruity compressor, basic compressor, and PD is parallel distortion. And I've got a fruity fast distortion on here on these settings. And essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to add these in by clicking at the bottom here and applying a percent. So if I turn this on, you'll see it's at 27%. You can see that in the top left of the screen as I move it there, 27. And then this one here, the PD, is at 41%. You see it moving there, 41%. And essentially what both of these do is they add a layer of the drums, but distorted more and compressed more on top of the current drums to get them even louder. And then that means we can push the basses to the max level as well, while still making the drums the loudest part of the mix. So then you'll get super loud drums, loud basses, and that will mean the master is louder as well. So now we've got the setup of the drums. Let me introduce each drum element one at a time, and you can see what levels I'm setting them at and what it comes to on the loudness meter. So here we have the setup, and I'm just going to add these kick drums in first. So I'm just going to copy them across. So if I press play, you'll see it goes from kick 1 to the kick group here. And this is coming in at 0 dB and it's just being clipped to shave off anything going above 0 dB. And then this is then going to the drum bus where it's also coming in at 0 dB and being pushed even more, and then going through the PC and the PD, and then all that's going to the master channel, which has the G clip on as well. So I've got maximum loudness without it distorting. So now let's add in the snare. Pay attention to the snare channels here. You'll see we've got 2 layers of the snares, and these are both slightly below 0 dB, but combined they're going into the snare group. And then I've got a camel crusher on, which is just making it even louder and more distorted and more compressed. And then the G clip is just stopping it going above 0 dB again. So we get a really loud snare. And I'm making sure it's not distorting as well. We've also got these ghost snares here, which are coming in just a little bit quieter on the clap group there. And I'll just show this with the drum bus here, and you can see the LUFS on the side. Keep an eye on this throughout the video. You can see that G clip is stopping it from going above 0 dB, and the PC and PD are coming in very loud as well, adding that extra layer. And then one other thing to note is they need to all be in mono. So to make sure of this, you can just come here, turn these all purple like this, and that will make them all in mono, so they're in the middle of your mix, coming down one line rather than coming across to both your ears here. So now let's add in our first hi-hat. I believe this is a rye. Let's see how loud this is coming in. And these sounds are more stereo, so you can go this way for this. And you can see they're considerably quieter, but you can still hear them. Now let's add in another hi-hat. This will be here. This one's a bit louder. And then let's add some final percussion elements, so more groove. And this one's about the same level as that one there. You can see the overall levels there. A little bit quieter than the kick and the snare, but still very audible. So what we're getting on the integrated LUFS here, so let's play it and look again. So already on their own, the drums are getting minus 4.9 LUFS. If we were to turn the Pro L on, they'd be getting minus 5.6 there, the maximum, and we'll come to that later. But now let's add the basses. So let's just add these basses in, and let's turn everything off and just focus on the basses for now, and then we'll introduce the drums later on. So layer 1 is a serum patch with a load of post-processing on it, and this is what it sounds like. So we're absolutely blasting the loudness. We've got a reverb on it as well here. That's adding some width to the sound. And then this is just getting sent to the bass bus. And then on the bass bus, we have a Pro L, so a limiter, which is just gain reducing any extra sounds coming through. Now, if you don't have Pro L, you need to be a bit more careful with the gain reduction. But if you do have Pro L, you can slam quite a lot into it, and it does a really good job of gain reducing it. So just keep an eye on the gain reduction overall and go for like between 0 and -6. Never really go below that. So that's the first layer. Let's add the second layer. So this is another layer of the bass. This is just on another channel. This is just adding more tones to the sound, and this makes it sound like this. And that's making it a bit louder. I don't have it as loud on here, and it's getting pushed into that Pro L with that one. And then finally we have the sub bass underneath, and this is coming in on here. And my sub basses always come in at -3 dB, and then they're always taken out of the main bass. Here you can see. Overall on here, you can see I'm getting -8, which is a little bit too high, but it sounds good in my ears, so I'm not too bothered. And it's going to get that max loudness as well. So play around with that and see how it affects your track. But you'll notice as well, a good point to note is this bass is sustained throughout. So because it's so sustained throughout and the supporting basses afterwards, there's not really any gaps for the track to lose some of the LUFS value of the loudness. So that's why I think this track in particular is getting a very loud mix down. If you're enjoying my teaching so far, why not check out my Music Production Academy? Everything you need to know about music production and finishing track after track to a really high standard, in order, no BS, and you just go through it one step at a time, and then by the end of it, you'll be producing bangers. For more information, check out the link in the description. So then another thing to note is I've got sidechain applied as well on the bass bus. So we've got a sidechain here, which is applied to the kick drum. So every time the kick drum plays, the bass is duck, and this just means there won't be any weird distorting happening when the kick and the bass is playing at the same time and there's just too much volume. And by doing this level of sidechain, you can actually get it even louder, because if we had this turned off, it'd start distorting a little bit. Don't know if you can hear that, but you can hear it slightly distorting. And then I've also done the same thing with the snare. This is just because the snare's pretty much coming in as loud as the kick drum, and the frequencies are all the same. So you need to do it for the snare as well, otherwise that's going to cause distorting issues. So without it, not as bad, but you can hear a tiny bit of distorting there. Now let's finally add in the vocal. This isn't doing much to the LUFS value because it's not consistent throughout, but it might help the LUFS in this section where there's just a respace and it's not as heavy on the tones as the first bass. One thing to note is though, I have sidechained this vocal to the kick drum on here. So it's the same process with the vocals, they're just mixed. I just used Clar vocals for this. And they're just nicely sitting on the mix. And the vocal is just ducking when the kick drum's playing, just so it doesn't distort with the vocal and the kick drum volumes clashing together. That might cause some distortion. And we've just got a Pro L. I always put a Pro L on tonal sounds on the buses. So that's why it's Pro L on here and a Pro L on the bass bus. So with all this combo, we've managed to get into the -2 to -3 LUFS range. Remember, your sound selection still needs to be on point as well, but let's now look at the master channel properly. So we're getting -2 to -3 on here. But you can see down here, we're getting 4.7 dB true peak. From the G clip, we've got this aggressive loudness, which is helping us to achieve this. But the downside is it doesn't control the true peaks. But if I add a limiter, so this Pro L, just on 0 gain, and I press play now, You can see I'm now having 0.1 dB true peak, so basically no true peak, but the LUFS is only like minus 3.4. I think it goes a little bit lower the more you play it. So it's not hitting as loud, but it's more controlled. Now, what does this mean to you? What should you do? Essentially, the clipper gives you the loudness and the limiter makes it clean and safe for streaming. So when I release a track, I will always put this Pro L on it and just sacrifice a little bit of loudness. And then I don't really have to worry about anything going wrong when I send it to the distribution. So one thing you could do is apply the limiter when you're releasing it. If you want it to be maximum loudness when you're playing it out, you could just use a clipper on it. All these big systems you're going to be playing the track on are kind of designed and have like internal limiters so they can deal with the loudness. Whereas when you send it to distribution, it might not be able to deal with the loudness and it might end up distorting it somehow. So that is the video complete. This track is released as well. It's called Turn It Up. If you want to know how I made it, I'll leave a link here for you to check that out. It's on all platforms as well, so make sure you go and stream it, add it to your playlist. I'd appreciate that a lot. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video right here.